What's up there, folks? Dan here, and welcome to another Facebook Live. Thank you so much for joining me today and for your attention. We are chatting in today's Facebook Live about some recent updates to Facebook advertising that you should be paying attention to, and it's been a busy month in the world of Facebook ads, so I'm going to go through some good stuff. But first of all, if you haven't joined us on Facebook Live before, or you're watching this after the fact, my name is Dan and I'm from Organic Digital, and at Organic we help small to medium businesses both train, manage and educate them on Facebook advertising. And I really appreciate you joining me today, and I want to get into some of these updates. Like I said, it's been a busy month, been some big changes around some transparency updates, and also just some adjustments to the Facebook news feed in general that not necessarily impacting directly on Facebook advertising, but Facebook businesses in general that are using Facebook to drive and grow their businesses. So I'm going to jump in and see if I can share my screen with this one. Maybe it won't let me. Let me have a look. I'm using the Facebook desktop app for the first time, and I'm wanting to share my screen. No, it doesn't look like it's going. Look, I'll post a link to some presentation notes that I was going to show on the screen, so you could actually run through it and you can see them after the fact, as well as all of the resources that I talk about as well. I'll leave them in the comments as well. But the first update I want to talk about is the Facebook Explore feed. So if you follow any potential Facebook business groups, or you use Facebook to talk about business and different networking side of things, then you will have no doubt seen the furore and the attention that was paid to this new Facebook feed and the death of organic reach. It's a pretty big topic, and probably one that I'll cover a different day. But there was a lot of attention paid to it, and people were jumping up and down about it. Basically what it is, and I just want to put out the facts there, because there was some stuff that was thrown around the web that wasn't exactly spot on. So I want to clear up exactly what Facebook is doing. So basically it's a new news feed that's being tested. It's effectively it's a different feed than your main one, and it provides posts from sources that you aren't following at the moment. So it's basically a way for you to discover new content, hence the name Explore. It's curated to for each individual user. So obviously Facebook have the data on you, and that's how they decide what they show in your algorithm. So it allows the user to discover pieces of content that are similar to what they're already consuming in their main newsfeed. It's also it's only just being tested at the moment, and that's the key word, being tested. And Facebook actually had a release that came out with a media statement. There was so much attention being paid to it, and I'll post a link to that in the comments. Just to clarify what it is, basically it's being tested in 6 countries at the moment. None of them are predominantly English-speaking countries, and they've said we have no plans to roll it out further. So it may not actually become a thing for people once it eventually comes to some of the main English-speaking countries, or that have a higher number of Facebook user rates as well. It's purely just seeing how people react to it, how they use it, and it may be a testing period of months, even up to a year, before they make a decision on what they're actually going to do it. Facebook are always doing these tests, and if you're in Australia, we often get access to some of the first things that Facebook roll out, because they use our small population number but high user and engagement rate on Facebook as a testing base for their database. So at the moment it is just a test. I'll post links to 2 different resources. 1, the Facebook media statement, and 2, an article from John Loomer that sort of covers exactly what it is, but also goes potentially how this could affect you, if it will affect you at all. But it's just one to keep an eye on at the moment, and don't panic. The other one, the next one I want to talk about is one that I actually found more interesting as an advertiser, and it's updates to their transparency around advertising. And this was kind of released around the same time that the updates about the Facebook Explore feed were out there. So I'm not sure whether that was kind of a red herring, so they could just quickly and quietly introduce this transparency update around their advertising. But this is probably going to impact advertisers and businesses much faster or much sooner than the Explore feed will. So basically what it is Facebook are now providing information and access to all the advertisements and promoted posts that a page is running, regardless of whether you're in the target audience or not. So if you see a sponsored advertisement on your Facebook newsfeed or Instagram, you can go and find out and say, why am I seeing this? And then it also gives you the opportunity to go and see all sponsored posts. And it takes it to, you then click through to what looks like that business's Facebook page, but it's actually just a page full of every single promoted post that they're running at the moment. So regardless of whether you're in a custom audience or you're the cold audience, doesn't matter where you are, you can see all the ads that that business is running. This has just been rolled out, I think probably today, as a matter of fact. I've heard that it's as soon as only a few hours ago in Canada. So they're going to be rolling out to the rest of North America very soon, I'd imagine. It's not a test as such. This is the future of Facebook advertising. To give you some background and context on why they're doing it, basically it's a transparency around because if you missed the news around some Russian organizations or spam bots or whatever they were running ads during the 2016 US election. They spent up to about $100,000 worth of advertisements, and they actually played a big role in affecting the election results over there. And Facebook had to come out and say, this is what they run, this is the ads that they ran, this is how much they spent, etc., and actually give that over to Congress in the USA. And so not only for every other business out there, but also for political ads. If you're a political party, you're going to have extra information about their ads that they're running, such as how much they're spending, total impressions and engagement. So some actual statistics and data around how much that political party is spending on Facebook ads. So political transparency is a real big issue for Facebook, and so they've introduced that for them. So this is going to be a really interesting update and being rolled out to people. From my perspective and how I think it will affect people, sure, if you don't want your ads or your potential posts or what you're putting out there being seen by people, this will affect you, but I'm not quite sure why you would want that if what you're doing research, but you're also going to be able to get, your competitors are going to be able to research you, but you're also going to be able to research your competitors as well. And I don't know, I sort of come from the ethos on focusing on yourself and just doing that really well, because your audience will be different. Even if it's very similar, there will be certain nuances that your businesses offer that your competitors can't or don't. So look, to be honest, I don't think it'll affect small to medium businesses too much. The only way I could think it really would affect them is if there were some savvy shoppers potentially that knew that maybe you offer bigger discounts to different types of audiences. They could click through and they could find out what discounts you're offering and maybe get extra price off. Maybe if it's a hidden post, but there'll only be a select number of those, and I'm not sure it'll really impact you that much. But maybe you just need to think about your strategy and how you're discounting and what you're offering to certain select audiences, because they'll effectively be able to be seen by everyone. So that's probably the biggest update that I think has been from the past month, and probably bigger and will affect businesses sooner and have more impact than the Facebook Explore feed. Another update that I wanted to mention as well that's just happened, well, not really an update, it was basically Facebook released their Q3 results, so quarter 3 results. only a few days ago. The numbers, again, just continue to grow. To give you a quick overview on where they're at the moment. So Facebook advertisers, so people that are actually spending money on advertising, tipped over the $6 million mark in Q3. That's a 1 million advertiser growth year on year. So they're at 5 million at the same time last year. So it's growing incredibly fast. Not only that, Instagram advertisers doubled from last year. So they were at 1 million last year. They're now at 2 million in Q3 of this year. Their profits are just going bananas. They've grown 79% year on year at $4.7 billion with a B. Ad revenue is the first time that it's actually tipped over the $10 billion mark. And it's a 47% increase from last year as well. But probably most importantly is that the average price per ad increased by 35% in that quarter. And this is in the quarter from July through to September. July, August, September. Yeah. So this will be interesting to see their Q4 results at the start of next year, because if it's increased 35% in that quarter, and this quarter is by far the most advertising on Facebook, something I think we'll probably need to cover in the coming week or so around the pricing of the price and the cost of Facebook advertisements at this time of the year. But it'll probably double again. So if it's gone 35% again, I would expect that would be even more expensive in Q4. So something certainly to keep an eye on. Some really good articles I'll post links to from Mari Smith, and also the Drum, that gave you some summarising through basically all of the numbers and mumbo jumbo that Facebook put out, and they doing their shareholder call at the end of every quarter. The other one that's interesting from not only a Facebook advertiser, but if you've got a website, is the rolling out of a Facebook Messenger chatbot plugin. So this is a plugin that actually sits on your website. Looks like a normal live chat plugin. So if you've used any of the different live chats to, pops up in the corner to say, hey, can we help you kind of thing, and people can chat to you on your website. Now they've released one to a closed group of beta testing, where basically it's all run by Messenger. So people, if they're logged in on another browser, it will show up and it will say, hey Dan, do you want to chat with so-and-so? You'll be logged in on Messenger, and that conversation is also logged back in your Messenger. So you don't need to go back to the website to continue that conversation like you may need to do with other live chat plugins. You can just go back to Messenger and you can message them there and continue the conversation there. I would expect that to be rolled out relatively soon once the closed group of testing is done, and it allows you to build Facebook chatbots to allow people to take certain actions on your website as well. So that can be there, and if they're purchasing something online, it's kind of like, hey, what are you looking for? And you can have different options, and might be 3 to 4 different categories of what you offer. Cool, here's some options within that category. Would you like to choose A, B, C? B, okay, here it is, we've added to your cart. Check out now, or enter. You can also do process payments through Facebook Messenger as well. It's getting super advanced. John Loomer, again, was part of the closed beta group that tested the new live chat plugin, and he's got an article on it there, as well as you can go to his website and test it out, and he sort of runs through how he uses it or how he may potentially use it in the future. But that's basically the updates from the past month or so. Again, it's there's been a few of them, as you can see, for how long I've gone. But I think they're really important to keep an eye on, knowing how fast Facebook advertising changes, that as businesses, little bits of information that we can find that could impact our overall strategy. To stay on top of those is really important. Obviously, to continue growing your business, but also be mindful of where and how you're spending your money as well. So that's the Facebook ad updates for the past month. If you've got any questions, please leave them in the comments as always. I'll put all the resources below this video, and you can check them all out there as well. I really appreciate your time and for bearing with me with the screen share issues. Have a fantastic day wherever you are around the world. Again, my name's Dan from Organic Digital. Lovely to have you. We'll chat to you next time. Bye-bye.